After years of saving, I finally managed to escape the city and move back to Wales where I was born. Instead of a tiny balcony attached to a flat and an allotment down the road, I now live in a house where my outdoor space is 5 fields and a stretch of woodlands along a beautiful river. So join me on this adventure as I try to turn these 8 acres into a wildlife haven where I grow my own food, medicine and craft supplies. I'm Samina and welcome to my messy plot. I cannot tell you how much joy what I'm about to do is going to bring me. So I've got my box of seeds here and I haven't done any seed sowing apart from the asparagus that I bought the seeds last year and I sowed them. Apart from that, I haven't gotten my seed box out in 3 years. It's been 3 years. I can't believe I'm saying that. I don't know how many of these seeds are going to be viable, but there's a lot of money's worth of seeds in this box, so I don't want to give up on them. And I have sown seeds that have been 7 or 8 years old, and you know, the germination might not be as great as in their first year, but it's still good enough to get some things. So today I'm going to be sowing some chilies and peppers. Oh God, look, oh, this is so exciting. Oh wow, oh. Sorry, I think I need a moment with my seeds before we continue. Okay, I think I've got myself together. I'm also gonna do some lettuce. You might remember that I brought my veggie pod from the other house finally, our old house. And I set it up, but I didn't level the ground before I did it, and because I don't like leveling, but I really do think I need to undo all my work and level the ground first. Well, not the ground, just maybe, you know, the 4 areas where the legs are, the bricks that they're on top of, just level that out. Because the trouble is, what happens is the veggie pot has a reservoir at the bottom, and obviously if it's not level, the water's gonna all seep to the one side. And I don't think it's gonna penetrate the compost evenly. So I don't want some really boggy areas and some drier areas. I want it all to be the way it should be. Anyway, I'm just so happy to have these out. Oh. God, I feel like I haven't made a video in ages. It has been a while. It's been before Christmas. I had a friend over for Christmas. Well, she didn't come for Christmas, but she was over during that week. And that was really nice. And I've just been getting on with some bits and pieces in between, but not recording it. But I had to get the camera out today because, you know, I don't know, if you make YouTube videos, do you ever get that thing where you just don't want to get the camera out? And the longer you leave it, the more of a struggle it is. I'm not a natural documenter, you know. I'm not one of these people that take photos of everything and take videos of everything. I'm really bad at, you know, keeping any sort of social media account going. So yeah, it doesn't come naturally to me. But yeah, I had to get it out, you know, because my friend Yolon, who I make these videos for, she's not seen an update in a while, so I thought I'd better get going. But yeah, anyway, back to point. So I've got my heated propagator out and I've pre-filled these little pots with compost. What I might do actually is I might pop these on the radiator this evening just to really get the compost nice and warm, warmer than the heated propagator could get it, just because it has been in the greenhouse and it is rather cold. So I think it needs a bit of a helping hand. So yeah, how's your Christmas and New Year been? If you celebrate Christmas, I don't actually particularly celebrate Christmas, but I do like the New Year. It's sort of, my husband and I will always sit in the evening and as we're working up to midnight, and we sort of talk about how was the year that's gone, what sort of hopes and plans we have for the year that's coming, and you know, we write a few things down. Not New Year's resolutions, because I just don't think they work, but yeah, it's a nice time. I like it. So yeah, I hope you had a nice time. I know a lot of people were unwell over the, you know, like with colds and stuff like that. But yeah, so what was I doing apart from that? Oh, I made this. So we've got these two fields just directly behind the house. And they're separated by like a row of trees. It's a hedgerow, but it's bigger than a hedgerow. It's taller than your standard hedgerow. And the trouble is, when you go out and then you want to go into the second field, the area where the gate is extremely boggy, and for quite a few meters into that field it's really boggy, so it's quite difficult to walk on. But also what worries me is that walking on it continuously will compact it further and make the situation even worse. So what I did is I cut the fence, because the hedgerow is then surrounded by a fence as well. I think it was the old guy who had this place had alpacas. So when he planted all of that, he didn't want the alpacas eating it all, so he put a fence on either side of it. So I cut the fence, a gap in the fence, and then I cut back some of the mini trees or shrubs that were there, and I've made a walkway. So I'm really happy with that. It means that I can walk from one field to the other without having to go all the way to the back of the field and through the gate at the back, because I'm going to have to carry a lot of wood chip and stuff like that over there where I've been planting the hedge on the other side of the second field. And that's a long way to go, all the way through one field, all the way back through the other field, rather than just being able to go through straight, from the front. So I'm happy about that. What else? Oh, so I have to thank Lorraine. So Lorraine came over to my channel from my Wild Welsh Garden. Isabel mentioned my channel in one of her videos. So Lorraine popped over and she watched my videos, and she left a couple of comments that were really useful to me. So Lorraine, I bought that extendable lopper. Is it called a lopper? I don't know, but it cuts overhead branches. The Fiskars one. I bought that. Oh my God, it's absolutely brilliant. It means that I've been able to trim things that I had no idea how I was going to get to before. I knew about extendable loppers, but I just didn't. I looked at them in the shops and I thought, oh, these look a bit puny and pathetic. But this Fiskars one is really good. And Lorraine also told me about a pole saw. So it's like a mini chainsaw on an extendable pole. Now, Lorraine, I have to confess, I know you said that it's safe and not scary, but I haven't yet plucked up the courage to use it. I will do in the next week or two. But for the moment, yeah, I've been practicing my extendable pole skills with these loppers. It's here behind me, that's what I'm pointing. So thank you so much, Lorraine, for that. That's been really, really helpful. And what else? Oh God, yeah, that'll actually come in really handy with the trees. So when we had that big storm Dara, quite a few trees came down, and one of them was actually, I'll show you a bit of footage. You'll have to excuse my over exuberance. It's just that I've never seen mature ivy up close before, and I thought it's just stunning. So the trees that I was worried about are those ones, and they have come down. So you see this one here that's covered in ivy, and those ones. So all of that was trees covered in ivy. And I did think that potentially they would be much weaker trees and they might come down, and some of them have. And I think they might be blocking my path down to the river over there. Let's go and have a closer look. Yeah, that's definitely my path down to the river, blocked from here. God, look at this ivy. Isn't that stunning? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Look at that. That's absolutely gorgeous. Oh my God, it's like an ivy forest. This is amazing. You know what, I better move back. One of them is still leaning precariously. So that needs to be sorted out. I don't know how I'm going to do that one. And you can see that's caused a huge wound on the tree there. Can you see that? That, absolutely massive. So I'll be cutting that up. At least we'll have a bit of firewood. So yeah, those that pole saw will come in really handy when I have to cut some of that back. I think what I'm going to do, tell me if this is a bad idea, but I'm thinking of actually leaving that big tree that's covered in ivy, leaving it lying down like that. So I might cut the tops off so that I can still get easily to, you know, to the river rather than having to walk all the way around it. I'll cut the tops off, but everything that's really covered in ivy, I'm going to leave it, because what happened when it fell, it brought the root ball up with it. So you know when a tree falls down and like there's mud and the root ball is standing vertically like that, that's what's happened. So I'm guessing that the ivy will carry on growing. The wood will, I don't know whether it will die off or whether it will then just start, you know, sometimes you see a fallen trunk or a branch and then you've got all this stuff that starts growing up out of it. That might happen, or maybe I should cut it back, I'm not sure. But I just thought it would be really nice habitat if I left it there. Is that silly? I don't know. Anyway, I'm so excited about my seeds. God, sorry, I'm making a bit of an idiot of myself, aren't I? Anyway, I'm gonna get on with all of this. I've kind of mentioned this before, but I wasn't really sure. But I have solidified my ideas about what I'm going to do with growing for this coming season, for this year. So I think that I'm not going to work too hard to try and set up the vegetable garden, because the annual vegetable garden, just because I don't want to overwhelm myself. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the polytunnel ready and have the polytunnel as my main growing space, because I'd really like to grow the chilies and the peppers and the tomatoes. I've got the veggie pod that I can grow all my salads in, and salads is one of the crops that I find the most valuable to grow, the salad leaves. Because, you know, you buy a small bag of salad leaves, it's full of plastic, you know, and it's £1 for it, and it's one salad, and then, you know, you've got all your other bits and pieces that you want to put on top. So yeah, I'd like to have the veggie pod, the polytunnel, and then what I want to focus on is all of the perennial stuff that I'm putting in. So I'm planting all the fruit trees and all of that stuff, but I need to make sure that they can establish themselves. So I need to make sure that the grass stays down, that they're properly mulched, that they're taken care of, and all of that stuff. So I don't really want to plant it all and then it not do as well as it could if I had the time to pay attention to it. And then the annual veg, that will start coming over time. I'll do maybe a bed at a time. I don't even know if I'll do any this year, but maybe I'll have some done by the autumn so that I can then put in my garlic and my onions to overwinter. So yeah, things like all the berries, the fruit trees, some of the perennial things like the wild garlic, and there's some other plants, some of, you know, the Japanese veg that I got, they're perennials as well. So I'd like to get them going and make sure that they're doing well rather than focusing on the annual veg at the moment. And to be honest, my real sort of pleasure in growing was always with the more unusual things, the stuff you can't get in the supermarket. So the things like carrots and cauliflower, I've never been good at brassicas, but cauliflower, cabbage, all of those sorts of things that you can quite easily get organic as well in the supermarket. I'm not too worried about growing them right now. But I'd like to get my asparagus in as well. So I've got, you know, my young asparagus plants in the greenhouse. I'd like to get them out in the spring. So yeah, I think that's probably enough rambling for me. I only wanted this to be a short update, just to wet my toes again. So I'm going to get on with doing this sowing and deciding what I want to put in, because there's just so many, you know, so that's the paprika one. Oh, I still have some of these from when I grew them 3 years ago. And you won't believe, actually, the chilies that I grew. So I made some chili sauce. Oh my God, I'll make it this year as well. And I'll do that with you. It was the most divine chili sauce. So I'm not a great lover of heat, but this one was the perfect combination of, it was almost like a chili jam. Maybe that's because I cooked it down too much, but I don't know. But oh my God, it was so delicious. And it was actually a recipe that my cousin, well, not my cousin, so my husband's cousin sent me, because I gave her some of the chilies. So she found a chili sauce recipe, really liked it, sent it to me. I made it, loved it. And then I was at a wedding the year after, and people were asking me, oh, you know, those chilies, what were they? Because, you know, Devina gave us some, her name's Devina gave us some of that chili sauce. It was amazing. So I'm really looking, sorry, my mouth has actually started watering just thinking about it. So yeah, there's quite a few different ones. There's lipstick, a variety of pepper, orange horizon, jalapenos. The jalapenos didn't do that well, actually. Sweet Hungarian wax, cayenne. No, it's the cayenne that I still have, because I use that for my chili powder. I grind it up and use it as chili powder and chili flakes as well, actually. It was the paprika. No, I've finished the paprika already. But yeah, I've still got some of the frozen chilies in the freezer, and they're great. You know, I didn't think that you could keep them for so long, and you probably shouldn't. But because I didn't have ordinarily, I would refresh them every year. But because I couldn't, because I wasn't growing them last year or the year before, because of, you know, moving to South Wales and then moving here and stuff. So, oh, this is just pure joy. I'm sure I had more. I need to go through these, because I had 6 or 7 different types of chilies, and the same in the peppers. And when I'm looking at this now, it's because I've put them all in here. Yes, I used up the seeds in this one. Oh, so I don't have any more Trinidad perfume. That's a shame. But I've got my other seeds here. Okay, good. So those are my chilies, and these are all my peppers. It's a chili as well. All right, okay, we're good to go. Panic over. Anyway, I'm just going to stop now. That's my problem. See, I'm overexcited. I say I'm going to stop, and then I just carry on yakking. Anyway, look, I will catch you again next time. I'm going to spend an hour with my seeds.